Welcome. This is lecture 4, Regulatory Acts. For module 3, Bioethics. This is the last lecture. Myself, Dr. Vineet Sinnarkar, professor from Dr. D.Y. Patil Homeopathic Medical College, Pimpri, Pune. Some acts are governed by Medical Council of India Act. This Medical Council of India Act was a crucial piece of legislation that governed the regulation and oversight of medical education and practice in India. However, it's important to note that MCI Act was replaced by National Medical Commission NMC Act 2019, which introduced significant changes to the regulatory framework for medical education and practice. The Medical Council of India was established under Indian Medical Council Act 1956. It was responsible for regulating medical education and practice in India. The primary objectives of the MCI Act included ensuring the maintenance of high standards in medical education, regulating medical practice, and ensuring that medical professionals adhere to ethical standards. The transition from the MCI to the NMC was intended to address various challenges faced by the MCI, including issues related to transparency, accountability, and regulatory insufficiencies. The NMC Act aims to modernize and improve the medical education and practice system in India, ensuring that it meets high standards and adapts to contemporary needs. The MCI Act established the Medical Council of India as the apex body responsible for overseeing the quality and integrity of medical education and practice across the country. The Act was introduced to address the need for standardized regulatory framework that would ensure consistency and excellence in the training of medical professionals. By centralizing regulatory functions, the Act aimed to create a uniform standard for medical education and practice, essential for maintaining the credibility of the healthcare system. One of the core functions of the MCI under the Act was to regulate medical education in India. The Act empowered the MCI to set and enforce minimum standards for medical colleges and their curricula. This included determining the qualification of faculty, the structure of medical programs, and the infrastructure required for medical institutions. By establishing these standards, the MCI aimed to ensure that all medical graduates received a consistent and high quality education regardless of where they studied. The MCI Act granted the Medical Council of India the authority to recognize and accredit medical institutions aspiring to offer medical degrees needed to obtain recognition from the MCI, which involved meeting rigorous criteria and undergoing comprehensive evaluation. This accreditation process was crucial for ensuring that only those institutions that met established standards were permitted to confer medical degrees, thus safeguarding the quality of medical training. A significant provision of the MCI Act was the establishment of a central register of medical practitioners. This registry served as an official record of all qualified doctors in India, enabling the verification of credential and ensuring that only individuals with recognized qualifications were allowed to practice medicine. The central register was essential for regulating medical practice, addressing issues of professional misconduct, and maintaining public trust in the healthcare system. Functions of MCI Act. Regulations of medical education. MCI set the standards for medical colleges and courses, ensuring that institutions met specific educational criteria and that the medical curriculum was up to date and relevant. Registration of medical practitioners. MCI maintained a central registry of medical practitioners who met the required qualifications and standards, ensuring that only qualified individuals could practice medicine. Ethical oversight. It enforced a code of ethics for medical practitioners and addressed issues of professional misconduct and malpractice. Approval of medical institutions. MCI was responsible for granting recognition to medical institutions and approving their courses and degrees. Continuing medical education. MCI encouraged the continuous professional development of medical practitioners to keep up with advancements in medical sciences and technology. Implications. The implications of the National Medical Commission Act are profound. By creating a more transparent and efficient regulatory framework, the Act seeks to address the shortcomings of the previous MCI system. The emphasis on improving the quality of medical education is expected to lead better trained medical professionals and consequently improved healthcare delivery. The focus on accountability and ethical standards aim to restore public trust in the medical profession and ensure that healthcare practices meet high ethical and professional standards. Now, we are going to study about National Commission for Homeopathy Act. The National Commission for Homeopathy Act 2020 is a piece of legislation in India that establishes the National Commission for Homeopathy NCH, a regulatory body for homeopathy sector. This act was created to replace the earlier Homeopathy Central Council Act of 1973 with the aim of improving the regulation, education and practice of homeopathy in India. The Act establishes the NCH to regulate and oversee the homeopathy system of medicine. The Commission is tasked with ensure quality standards in education, practice and research in homeopathy. The NCH consists of chairperson and several members appointed by the central government. These members include experts in the field of homeopathy as well as representatives from the public and government. The Commission has the authority to frame regulations for the homeopathy education system, including the recognition of homeopathic colleges and institutions as well as the approval of their courses and curricula. It also regulates the practice of homeopathy and maintains a central registry of practitioners. The NCH is responsible for creating policies to improve the quality of homeopathy education and practice across the country. This includes settling standards for examination and ensure that homeopathy practitioners meet certain qualifications. The Act also provides for the creation of state homeopathy councils, which will work under the guidance of the NCH to regulate and oversee homeopathy practice at the state level. The Act includes provisions for the redressal of grievances related to homeopathy profession and educational institutions under its purview. This ensures that there is a mechanism for addressing complaints and appeals related to homeopathy. The NCH is tasked with promoting research and development in homeopathy, including the advancement of homeopathic knowledge and practice. Objectives are regulate and oversee homeopathic practice, to establish a robust regulatory framework for the practice of homeopathy in India, ensuring that practitioners adhere to established standards of practice and ethics. Improve quality of education, to enhance the quality of homeopathy education by setting standards for curriculum, infrastructure and faculty in homeopathy colleges and institutions. This includes the recognition and approval of educational institutions and their courses. Ensure uniform standard, to create uniform standards for homeopathy practice and education across the country, ensuring consistency and quality in the delivery of homeopathic care. Promote research and development, to encourage and facilitate research and development in the field of homeopathy, promoting scientific inquiry and advancements in homeopathic medicine. Establish and maintain a central registry, to establish and maintain a central registry of homeopathy practitioners, ensuring that only qualified individuals are authorized to practice homeopathy. Create a national policy, to develop and implement a national policy for homeopathy education and practice, providing a clear and structured approach to managing the homeopathic sector. Enhance public safety and confidence. To protect public health by ensuring that homeopathy practitioners are properly trained and adhere to professional standards, thereby enhancing public trust and confidence in homeopathic treatments. Address grievances and complaints. To provide a mechanism for addressing grievances and complaints related to homeopathic practice and education, ensuring accountability and transparency within the sector. There is one more objective of NCH, that promote coordination with state council, to work in coordination with state homeopathic councils, ensuring that state level regulatory efforts align with national standards and objectives. Implication of NCH Act: enhanced regulatory framework, improved education and training, centralized practitioner registry, promotion of research and development, improved patient safety, coordination with state council, impact on existing institutions and practitioners. Overall, the National Commission for Homeopathy Act is designed to enhance the quality, safety and effectiveness of homeopathy in India by establishing a more robust regulatory and educational framework. Its implementing will likely lead to significant improvements in the field, benefiting both practitioners and patients. Analysis of regulatory acts. Medical Councils of India Act and the National Commission for Homeopathy Act serve distinct but essential roles in regulating their respective field of medicine. While the MCI Act focused on conventional medicine and its regulatory challenges, the NCH Act addresses the specific needs of homeopathic medicines, emphasizing education, ethical practice and research. Both acts reflects the evolving nature of medical regulation in India, with the NCH Act representing a modern approach to addressing the unique requirements of homeopathy. Medical Council of India Act was established to regulate medical education and practice for conventional medicine, allopathy. Its primary goal was to ensure uniform standards of medical education, maintain the quality of medical training and uphold ethical standards among practitioners. The MCI Act covered all aspects of medical education and practice for conventional medicine across India, including the accreditation of medical institutions, registrations of medical practitioners and enforcements of code of ethics. National Commission for Homeopathic Act was introduced to regulate and oversee the practice of homeopathy, a system of alternative medicine. Its goal includes improving the quality of homeopathic education, ensuring the safe practice of homeopathy and promoting scientific research in the field. The NCH Act specifically addresses homeopathy, encompassing the regulation of homeopathic education institutions, the registrations and regulations of homeopathic practitioners, and the promotion of research within the homeopathic system. Regulatory structure. The MCI Act established the Medical Council of India as the apex regulatory body, was supposed to be a network of state medical councils responsible for overseeing medical practice at the state level. The MCI had committees to handle different aspects of its mandate, including education, ethics and accreditation. The MCI was responsible for setting standards for medical education, accrediting medical colleges, maintaining a central register of medical practitioners and enforcing ethical standards. Regulatory structure of National Commission for Homeopathy Act. The NCH Act established the National Commission for Homeopathy as the central regulatory body. The NCH is supported by specialized board and committees, including the Medical Assessment and Rating Board, the Undergraduate Medical Education Board and Postgraduate Medical Education Board. These bodies focus on different aspects of homeopathic regulation. The NCH oversees the regulation of homeopathic education, grants recognition to institutions, maintains a central registry of homeopathic practitioners and ensures adherence to ethical standards. Education standards and accreditation. In Medical Council of India Act, the MCI Act set uniform standards for medical educations across India. It required medical institutions to adhere to prescribed curricula, faculty qualifications, and infrastructure requirement to receive accreditation. The MCI had the authority to recognize and accredit medical colleges, ensuring that they met the required standards for offering medical degrees. Educational standards and accreditation. By the National Commission for Homeopathy Act, the NCH Act mandate the establishment of uniform standards for homeopathic education. The NCH specialized boards such as medical education boards for UG and PG are responsible for setting curricula and standards for undergraduate and postgraduate homeopathic education. The NCH is responsible for granting recognition to homeopathic institutions and ensuring that they meet the required educational and infrastructure standards. Practitioners, regulation and registration. Medical Council of India Act required all medical practitioners to be registered with the MCI or state medical councils to practice medicine. The central register maintained by the MCI included details of qualified practitioners. The MCI had the authority to enforce ethical standards and take disciplinary action against practitioners involved in professional misconduct. Similarly, the NCH Act requires homeopathic practitioners to be registered with the NCH to practice legally. The NCH maintains a central registry of homeopathic practitioners. The NCH enforces a code of ethics for homeopathic practice and mechanism in place to address grievances and professional misconduct among practitioners. Impact of the National Commission for Homeopathy Act on medical practitioners. The National Commission for Homeopathic Act passed in 2020 established the National Commission for Homeopathy to regulate the field of homeopathy. This legislation was designed to ensure that homeopathic practice and education adhere to established standards similar to the regulations governing conventional medicines. The NCH Act has had a significant impact on homeopathic practitioners by settling clear guidelines for homeopathic education and practice. The Act mandates that homeopathic institutions follow specific standards for curricula and examination, ensuring that practitioners receive a rigorous and uniform education. This standardization is crucial for maintaining the quality homeopathic care and ensuring that practitioners are well trained. Registration and licensing of homeopathic practitioners are also governed by the NCH. To practice legally, homeopaths must be registered with the NCH, which ensures that they meet the required educational and professional standards. This registration process is essential for maintaining the credibility and effectiveness of homeopathic practice. Additionally, the NCH establishes a code of ethics for homeopathic practitioners, similar to the MCI's code of ethics conventional doctors. This code provides guidelines for professional conduct and help maintain high standards practice. The NCH also addresses complaints and grievances related to homeopathic practice, ensuring that practitioners adhere to ethical and professional standards. The NCH Act also emphasizes the importance of research and development in homeopathy by promoting research, and NCH aims to advance the field of integrate new findings into practice. This focus on research can influence homeopathic practitioners by providing updated knowledge and treatment approaches based on the latest evidence. To conclude, the Medical Council of India Act and the National Commission for Homeopathy Act have both played pivotal roles in shaping the landscape of healthcare in India. While the MCI Act established a framework for regulating medical education and practice, the transition to the NMC reflects a more towards more modern and efficient oversight. Similarly, the NCH Act provides a comprehensive regulatory framework for homeopathy, ensuring that practitioners adhere to established standards and continue to advance their field through research. Together, these acts contribute to the overall quality and integrity of healthcare in India, impacting medical and homeopathic practitioners by settling educational, ethical and professional standards. This concludes the chapter 4 of module number 3, bioethics. In this module, we learned about the basic principles of bioethics, emerging issues in bioethics such as genetic testing, individualized medicine and artificial intelligence in healthcare. Also, we learned about privileged communications and confidentiality, and regulatory acts such as NMC Act and NCH Act and their framework. Thank you.